Welcome back, JAGs. I'm Jordan York, and this is JAG TV. The Johnson Theater Program has been working hard to prepare their latest show, Willy Wonka. Naima and Elsa have what's going on behind the scenes.
This spring marks the theater department's return to the stage with a full musical production of Willy Wonka.
There's a lot of magic involved. They have to, my TV has to shrink, and there's fizzy lifting soda, and Veruca has to go off with the squirrels, and Violet has to blow up.
The actors will be bringing to life the characters you might remember from the movie.
Charlie is like a kid, right? He's like 7, and he's pretty poor. And I mean, he's like any other kid. He has a dream, which is to see Willy Wonka, and then he ends up like winning one of the golden tickets and ends up actually being able to see him. That's like the most exciting thing that he has to look forward to in the show.
I wanted to be Willy Wonka because I really like how his character is very sarcastic and eccentric and humorous, and I think he is not completely relatable, but I think a lot of us can kind of see ourselves in him at times.
For the crew behind the scenes, this production is probably the most colorful they've ever staged.
A lot of music, a lot of cool acting, a lot of bright and vibrant colors, and just really have a lot of fun in general.
There's a lot of lollipops. That's pretty nice.
And if you remember the movie, there are some parts that are going to involve a little stage magic.
So we've had to come up with some interesting solutions to these very unique challenges.
If you missed yesterday's performance, you can catch it again tonight or on Friday at 7 p.m. and Saturday at 2 p.m. Tickets are available at johnsontheater.com for $10 or $15 if you want better seats. From the Fine Arts Wing for JAG TV, this is Elsa Hajia.
It's the middle of UIL academic season, and students are competing almost every weekend in a variety of subjects. Student editor Joseph Sweeney helped his team take home first place last week at MacArthur in the journalism events.
Just recently we went to MacArthur and Churchill and competed there, and I've competed in all of the journalism events. And there's other events aside from journalism, and doing it, you just get the opportunity to hang out with friends, meet other people, win awards, obviously, just stuff like that. It's good for building character and just subjects you're interested in, and good for building up a resume.
Since the start of the pandemic, traveling for competition has become a complicated matter for both students and teachers. Nicholas and Lillian have the details.
After students faced virtual competitions and COVID restrictions last year, campus groups and teams are welcoming a return to student travel. Cheer coach Mandy Martinez will travel soon with her squad as they just returned from UIL.
So if it's in-state, that has certain paperwork. If it's out-of-state, that has certain paperwork. If it's overnight, that has certain paperwork. Or if it's just a day trip, that has certain paperwork. So it just depends on the trip.
For coaches and sponsors, travel now has meant an added layer of work and responsibility. Current student travel guidelines are created by central office and then must be followed by all groups and the campus administration.
There were restrictions put in, and part of that was an agreement that parents understand that, if my child gets sick while on the trip, the coach, director, admin that's in charge will test their child to be sure on whether or not they are positive or not. If they come up positive on the rapid test on the trip, this is when we're talking out of town and overnight, then they would be quarantined and the parents would be responsible for coming to get their child.
Students and parents are also asked to consider if leaving with the group, it's the right decision personally.
Or 2 requirements. One, that you self-monitor that. And then number 2 is the travel requirement. Like I was saying, it's a consent with the parents that if your child gets sick on an overnight trip, that it is okay to test them to be sure whether or not they're positive or not.
Even with additional guidelines, even faculty knows that the student travel is essential.
It's a big part of the high school experience. We had to finish 2020 without it. We had to go through most of the first part of 2021 without the overnight experience in travel. The opportunities to go to bigger competitions, national competitions, were eliminated there for a while.
Foster friendships or team bonding between ourselves because we're spending that time on the bus and spending that time in like close rooms, getting together. So it really helps like with team bonding, and it also helps with us meeting other teams as well, bonding with other teams, and really growing our love for dance and for each other.
From the dance studio, I'm Lillian Romero for JAG TV.
In the K building on the back of campus, a group of JROTC cadets have been preparing for one of their biggest competitions of the year. Naya and Ethan have the story.
Next week, the JROTC air rifle teams will be traveling to Anniston, Alabama to compete in the Air Rifle Service Championships.
So this year, both of our teams qualified. Our precision team and our sporter team qualified for the service championships.
The Air Rifle Service Championships will be one of the biggest competitions the air rifle team will be participating in this year. So far this year, the team has already earned top spots at the Texas State Sporter 3-position air rifle champions.
Some of our local competitions, you know, we don't get that big of crowds, but at this competition, there's going to be a lot of teams. So a lot of teams are traveling from as far away as Germany to come from almost every state in the U.S.
Since this is a big competition, the team has been preparing for it since the start of fall.
So we've been practicing ever since September, and it's just been kind of an all-year practice, and this is one of our bigger matches in order for us to get to nationals.
For the shooters, competitions like this give them opportunities beyond what they can get on campus.
I do enjoy it. I think it's a really fun bonding time that me and the other shooters get to experience. Plus, we get to travel to different high schools and see all those places, and then sometimes we travel out of state to different states. So it's fun to travel outside of San Antonio.
And of course, the team hopes to progress to the next level of the competition.
Our goal is to finish in the top 5. If we can finish in the top 5 out of all the Army teams, then we'll advance to go to the national championship against the other services, the top teams from the other services. So,
from the K building, this is Naya Obi with JAG TV.
Let's go to JAG Sports now with Dylan and Braxton.
Welcome back, Jags. Coming up, we have results from action on the court, in the pool, and on the soccer field.
We also have wrestling results and cool highlights from basketball this past week.
This is JAG Sports.
The boys and girls basketball teams are continuing their second round of district play last Friday night. Junior Sydney Coleone made a really nice layup, but unfortunately it was not enough. The Jags lost to Clark 68-32. Freshman Darryl Banks got around a tough defense and got the basket to go off the board. This is one of the best plays of the game in a Jaguar loss, 78-46.
Both teams face Churchill next week.
Saturday, the Jags took to the pool and performed really well in the district championship. The boys won district and the girls took second place.
Wrestlers took to the mat at the Frank Halloran Ranger Classic, and CJ Adair was the winner. Congratulations to CJ. The Jags will participate again on February 2nd for the district tournament.
Last Saturday, the boys soccer team defeated Clark by a score of 4-1.
That's all for JAG Sports. We will be back next week with more JAG scores and highlights.
She brings her enthusiasm to Johnson every day. Ezra has our latest staff spotlight, Mrs. Dickens, in the front office.
You hear her voice almost every day, but you probably don't know the energetic, kind-hearted person behind the mic. Administrative assistant Rachel Dickens helps run the front office and is often the friendliest face students encounter.
I am one of the administrative assistants to the assistant principals. I work with the 504 coordinator and the discipline assistant principals.
Her duties help support the front office staff in both big ways.
On a typical day, I answer the walkie, which is going off right now. I answer phones. I schedule meetings for our 504 coordinator. I do announcements and handle discipline cases that may come to my office.
And small.
I love doing the announcements. It's one of my favorite parts of the gig. I am a communication major, so when I found out I got to do the pledges and announcements, I was super excited.
And even at the end of the day, Miss Dickens isn't slowing down.
My energy level is pretty high. I am an avid person who works out. I run about 3 times a week, and I also I have only 1 cup of coffee. I have natural energy, so I'm very lucky.
For students who are apprehensive about coming to the front office, Miss Dickens is a welcoming presence.
I think that a positive attitude and a positive personality is really good when it comes to customer service, and students are my customers, of course, and I just love I love people, and I love being kind to people, and it's just what I like to do.
From the front office, this is Ezra Garza with JAG TV.
Walking into one of the labs upstairs, you'd expect to find a regular science class, but what else is there might surprise you. Here's Connor with more on the story.
Students in Rebecca's Hortensi's biology lab can always look forward to getting some hands-on learning in her classroom.
I think last time I counted, I have 13 in the classroom, I think. I lost count. The morning gecko, the baby died, but the mama's still here. And then I have 3 dogs at home. Oh, and I have 2 new snakes at home. They love them. I have so many students come in, and like if I say you can have the animals today, it's like it's a mad race, especially like clover, scales, and now of course the baby snakes. And then there's of course the people who just love my rats. These guys actually love to have their ears rubbed, and they will go to sleep in your lap if you're rubbing their ears, and so they're just awesome chill pets.
The pets are also helpful for a better understanding of certain subjects.
I get the pets, biology, life science, love it. So it's an excuse for me to have pets. But we use them a lot when we talk about biomolecules. We're talking about heterotrophs and autotrophs. We're talking about how we use and obtain energy, exothermic reaction. So these guys are all of my reptiles are obviously cold-blooded, and that's why we have heat lamps on everything. And so we use them. We teach roughly 11 units in biology, and we use the animals as a direct example in probably 7 of those units.
Students like freshman Peyton Ladette think the classroom pets bring more than that to the classroom.
They help me focus by coming, just sitting with me. It's kind of like body doubling, like where you have someone just sitting there, just helping you.
Reporting for JAG TV, this is Nicholas Estavillo.
Though course fair was this Monday, you can still get your questions answered by emailing your counselor. The course selection option is open now in Skyward, and the counselors will be meeting with students in their English classes through mid-February. For more updates before our next show, be sure to follow us on Instagram at JAG Student Media or on Twitter at MyJagNews. That's all for today. See you next time, JAGs.